be something. My real concern is that if you choke something off here, it's got to go someplace else. And if you close the street, then the traffic will definitely go on to other streets, and because it's going to go someplace. It's just going to go someplace. Maybe we can mitigate it with the survey, the outreach, talking to the other residents in the neighborhood and getting their input as to how they'd like to see it unfold. And then I look at Fair Oaks. I mean, Fair Oaks is definitely a thoroughfare from Middlefield to El Camino. And I've got friends who live along Fair Oaks, and there's just no way that anybody can even walk along Fair Oaks, number one, because there's not enough right-of-way in front of people's homes. I mean, the landscaping comes right up to the edge of the road, and the cars go speeding through on their commute routes. So I guess my vote would be that we continue to study it, survey the outreach, like Councilmember Carlson said, is paramount. I didn't understand exactly what the outreach was. My vision of the outreach would be to hold neighborhood meetings, survey the other residents to get their input and feedback as to what it's going to look like if you close off your street and where the traffic's going to go, and then increase police presence.
Any other comments? Well, I would say that before we take a vote here, that I believe we'll get more information by the trial closure than we will with any other survey. So I would make a motion that we approve item number 14, which is an action plan for the trial closure of Holbrook Lane in the town limits. Can I have a second?
Could I amend that to say that we would have an outreach that would include an outreach as well as input from the Menlo Park Police Department and a report back to the council before we made a final determination?
I would like to see it that we have the trial closure still while we're having the outreach.
I'd like to see something along the lines of what several of the other council members have said, that we approve moving forward. I agree that we're here for the residents of Atherton. I agree that we're here for the residents of Atherton and the safety first. There's not an issue there. I believe that we should do the outreach. We should get the input from not only the fire district but the police departments as well. With the idea of potentially moving forward, not to slow down the moving forward, but I think we need to do this step first, and then I'd like to recommend, Mayor, that it would then come back for an okay one way or the other after these two steps. So is it a slight delay? Yes, it might be a month or two delay, but you're talking about starting something in mid-year and having it run for 6 months to the end of the year, and we want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
I don't know that it would be necessarily a slight delay because we were anticipating outreach in any event.
Right.
There's a motion on the table from the mayor.
Yes, there's a motion on the table, which I need a second for, and I have a second, and I would be happy to amend it based on what Councilmember McKeeson has said.
So, well, my amendment was that we have outreach and input from the Menlo Park Fire Department and Police Department and our police department, and then bring it back to council.
The county and North Fair Oaks?
Yes.
We've been studying this thing for years.
Well, can I say something, please? I would appreciate it if council members Carlson and Lewis and Widmer would please look at the outreach we've done with North Fair Oaks, okay? It's been going on for years.
Absolutely.
This is not, we didn't do this, in a haphazard way. So please check the facts before you ask us to do this again, because it's becoming incredibly frustrating to continue to go forward in front of North Fair Oaks or in front of Atherton and say, oh, well, here, you need to do your homework. Well, guess what? We did it, okay? So please do your homework before you show up at these meetings with this stuff on agendas.
Well, again, there's a motion to the table, which is to approve an action plan for the trial closure of Holbrook within its town limits. Can I have a second?
As amended.
As amended. Can I have a second? No seconds, so the motion dies.
Well, yeah, I think, Jerry, you're asking for clarification.
Yeah.
My amendment was that we do the outreach with North.
Why don't you make the motion and the other one died?
My motion is that we go ahead and conduct a survey, go ahead with our plan to potentially close off Holbrook Lane, but first do our outreach with North Fair Oaks and speak with our police department as well as the Menlo Park Fire Protection District and get their input. Bring it back to council for final resolution as to how we want to proceed with a potential closure of Holbrook Lane.
A question, will that outreach include North Fair Oaks in the county?
That outreach is for North Fair Oaks and the county.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the next item is an update on the refuse and recycling collection rates for 2011. I will now turn it over to our interim city manager, John Daniel.
Mayor and council members, the solid waste update this evening. Since February 16th, as directed by City Council, our team of analysts consisting of Mike Kashiwagi, Diane Nguyen, and myself have researched and provided responses to the action items that are in your packet. But more importantly, our team has conducted extensive research on the literature, retracing the process, reviewing reports. I want to thank Diane in particular for reviewing thousands of pages of documentation, both from the South Bay Waste Management Authority Board, the recommendations and actions, council actions. I have a list of a dozen different documents and major issues they went through, including compensation applications, collection of rate variance analysis, franchise agreements, supplemental cost of rate analysis, and HF&H cost rate calculation data. So that sets the groundwork for where the information you're going to see came from. We've also had, I don't know how many meetings on telephone conversations, email exchanges, and on-site with both the Waste Authority, HF&H, and Ecology, and actually would like to thank Kevin McCarthy and Marshall Moran from Waste Authority for their time, as well as Mario Puccinelli from Ecology, and particularly Rick Simonson from HF&H, who has never turned me down once to come here and spend all the hours that we needed of him, and that was very appreciated. The purpose of the item this evening is to examine the underlying costs and their effects on the rates. We will not be discussing this evening, pardon me, service level problems. That will be for a different time, and we have some ideas that it's at the very near in the future we'd like to propose to you. So we're really going to be looking at the costs that have an impact on the rates. Not the only one, but the underlying costs as they are applied to Atherton. We'll be presenting information regarding the projected 2011 solid waste rate costs, and seeking at the end, where I'd like to take the presentation back, from council direction on setting those waste rates for 2011 and why it's so important that we do it in the very near future. With that, I'd like to turn the presentation over to Michael Kashiwagi.
Thank you, John, and Mayor Dalby, members of the City Council. Yeah, a lot of what you heard so far are the rate increases, and they are high. And just looking at the town of Atherton by itself, it's high. And then when you compare it to the other agencies within the South Bay Waste Management Authority, they're still high.